Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I've got an Acer here. This is an Acer Swift SF314 series. However, this general tutorial should apply to most laptops. So this is about noisy fans. And the first thing I'll quickly do is just start this thing up and let you hear what the fan sounds like. I've decided to put it into sleep because it was making a bit of a racket and I was like, oh, you know. So let's let it spin up again. And I'm going to turn off the noise filtering on the microphone. Okay, you get the idea. Let's turn this thing off because that's not doing its job properly. So the moral of the story here is that when a customer comes to me and says, my laptop is noisy or the laptop's fan is noisy, there's a really important bit of information that we have to discern before we have any idea what direction the repair is going to go in. And that is the fan just running at high speed, or is the fan physically faulty, like it has a knackered bearing or something like that that's causing the fan rotor to vibrate? So you just had a really knackered fan. Now at the end there, what happened was it wobbled and then it actually stopped vibrating and started spinning freely. And at that point, it then just ramped up to full speed. So that airflow noise, that was just the fan going up to full speed. That was fine. But the buzzing and the noises, that is a completely ruined fan. So it's really important to determine. I'll quickly just spin up this MacBook Air I've got here. This MacBook Air has a completely different fault that is causing its fan to run at high speed. So this does not have a knackered fan. It has just another general fault with it that causes the fan to run at high speed. So this is important because this kind of fan noise, this is not a faulty fan. So let's just let this one spin up and you can hear just the high fan speed. Cool, so hopefully the mic picked all that up. I won't know until I get to editing though. So those were two examples. The first one from the Acer was a knackered fan bearing, and it was an audible buzz with actual clattering and other noises mixed into it. The fan sounded physically sick. Whereas with the MacBook Air there, that was just airflow noise. That was just a whooshing noise. That's just the fan running at high speed. And it's a really important distinction because on the MacBook, there's nothing wrong with the fan on that. It's just being told to run at high speed because there's a sensor fault or an overheating issue somewhere in the laptop, and system management is saying there is a problem, ramp up the fan speed. Whereas with this Acer laptop, that's not just high fan speed, that's just a fan that is not spinning correctly. It's vibrating on its axes. So that's the important thing. So we've diagnosed that we've probably got a knackered fan in this laptop. So now we know that it's actually worth dismantling it to inspect the fan. So let's take this thing apart and we'll see what kind of fan is in it. Hopefully this one will be fairly easy because we've got what looks like quite a nice access panel on the bottom. So these are T6 screws, and I'll just take out all of these ones and this bottom panel will come off. Okay, so with the back cover off of this one, we've actually got pretty good access, and you can see the cooling fan right here. And straight away, by wobbling it with my fingers, if I just put my fingers on there, you can see how much play and wobble is in that rotor. That should not be wobbling like that. That's not normal. So we can clearly see that this thing is completely shot. Now, theoretically, you can try and refurbish these fans. You can take them apart, take the rotor off, clean the bearings out, reassemble them. And sometimes that sometimes that lasts and sometimes it doesn't. However, fans like this, more often than not, are really cheap to purchase on eBay. Where's this thing plugged in? There we go, let's just get that unplugged. So all I'm going to do is just take this thing out. Now, just unpeel this double-sided tape here. And we'll just buy a new one. You can see how much dust is in this thing. So this thing is just choked on dust. That's the simple solution to that. So, and there's a lot of dust actually. Just wow, that's a good one. This thing has probably been overheating as well. So just a combination of just dust getting into the fan bearing and the fan having to run like the clappers all the time is what has killed this thing. It's lucky that the laptop itself still works. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and order a new fan. So let's hit up eBay and we'll see what we can find. So this is an Acer SF314 fan. And we've got various options here. We've got a full cooling assembly there. However, that's a pre-owned one. We can get a brand new fan for £15. That's kind of expensive. Can we do better than £15? Yeah, you see, there's the cheap ones from China. That's more like it at £6 or £7. That is pretty gross, but it looks like that's my only real option to actually get this in a reasonable time frame. If I wasn't in a hurry, I could order one in from China, and I would pay a third of the price for the same thing. However, unfortunately, I don't have that luxury with this laptop. I kind of want this done sooner rather than later because it's been waiting already. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and order one for £15. I would expect them to cost between £5 and £10. If that had been £10, I wouldn't be complaining. But £15 is a bit, oh, come on. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and order that one at that price. I'll get that in a couple of days and we can just stick that in the laptop. Okay, I've given the cooling system just a brush down with a toothbrush, so that's nice and clean. And we've got our new fan. So this one, the rotor on it has no play in it at all, and it spins nice and freely, no problem at all. So we'll just drop that in place there and get it plugged in. Now I've just got to find all the screws for this thing again. So make sure we haven't left anything unplugged. Everything's cleaned. We're all good. Back cover goes back on. Now before I actually put all the screws in, because I easily can, I'm just going to turn it on and just check that the fan spins. Yep, that guy is spinning. There's a couple of tests that you can do for this. You can do it by sight, by looking through the vent. You can just hold it up to your ear and just hear if it's blowing. You can also just, if you put the vent near to your lips or your eyes, you can usually feel the draft from it as well. There's lots of ways of checking because you can't always see the fan blades, and sometimes if the laptop is stone cold like this one will be at the moment, it can be very difficult to tell if the fan is actually spinning. You could also, of course, just take the back cover off. So yeah, either way, that guy's working. So let's get all the screws back in. Right, and there we have it, everyone. We're all finished. So past that, thank you very much for watching. That is how to approach a laptop with a noisy fan. So again, remember that if the fan is buzzing, that's probably a dead fan. And if the fan is just simply loud, then that is probably some kind of heat issue or sensor issue with the laptop. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.